clock is ticking for Senate lawmakers as they try to come up with a plan to fix the nation's immigration system. A group of senators announced yesterday they reached a bipartisan agreement to protect the so-called Dreamers while securing the border. Trying to schedule votes on the issue today. What happens will affect thousands of young people in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So who are these Dreamers? That was the topic of Pat Kessler's latest reality check. Pat is with us this morning, and who are we talking about, Pat?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, there are thousands of young people in Minnesota and in Wisconsin who are the Dreamers, the DACA kids, the ones who are undocumented immigrants. They were brought here illegally when they were little kids by their parents, who are also illegal. So there are about 6,300 of these people here in Minnesota. There's about 7,600 in Wisconsin. They are under 16 when they came here in order to get this protection. They also have to have lived in the United States continuously since 2007, and they can't have any criminal record. That's who the DACA kids are. They can apply now for protection from deportation for 2 years, and then they can work here in the United States. So we took a look at that because Congress is trying to figure out something. As you mentioned, the Senate has come up with a plan, but it looks like it's not going to have enough votes to pass. So all these kids could face deportation as early as March 5th, but likely a little later.
Pat, when we're talking about, thousands of people here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, that impact on the economy has got to be pretty significant.
You know, it really is. It would cost a lot of money to deport these kids, too. We looked at a ton of studies, and we relied on the most conservative estimates. It would cost about $60 billion with a B, $60 billion to actually round up all these people, house them, put them in detention centers or jails, and then deport them to a country. That's how much it would cost. But their contribution to the economy, according to all the studies, is about $280 billion a year. So that's something that Republicans and Democrats and President Trump are taking into account in Washington as they debate this.
Let's talk about infrastructure, Pat, although with the school shooting taking the attention of the nation, I'm skeptical that much will be discussed about this today.
Yeah, hard to believe anything will happen with that. Yeah.
Right. The president talking about a 25-cent increase in the federal gas tax to pay for his infrastructure plan. It's been a long time since there's been a federal gas tax hike. But a Republican proposing a federal tax hike. How about that?
Well, good luck with that. Let's remember the last 8 years under President Obama when there were suggestions of a federal gas tax hike, or 8 years before that with George Bush. But this is how they might have to pay for this infrastructure proposal. It is really interesting. Democrats and Republicans can't agree on this, how to fix roads, how to build bridges, how to repair airports. But you're going to have to find a way to pay for it, and President Trump may suggest that. The other suggestion is privatize the roads, have toll roads, and you'd have to pay to drive on the roads. So these are the two areas where you can go to pay for infrastructure, toll roads or gas tax hike, and neither one of them anybody likes. So who knows where that's going to go.
All right, we don't like garbage roads either, so we got to figure this one out.
I know.
Thanks, Pat. We'll see you on the news at 5 and 6.